Hard to believe, but we're just a couple of weeks away now from the August 6th primary, and tonight 7 is taking action for you, helping you learn more about one of the candidates for mayor of Detroit. Now, there are 6 front-runners, including Mike Duggan, Fred Durrell Jr., and Crystal Crittenden. Lisa Howes and Tom Barrow have already appeared on Action News at 7 earlier this week, and we're giving each candidate 5 minutes to tell you how they will make a difference in Detroit. Tonight, candidate and Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napolean joins us. But before we give you that 5 minutes, Sheriff, we'd like to talk to you about this controversy involving Mike Duggan. Take a listen here.
We know it's Benny Napolean behind it. We've heard it out of his campaign for the last couple of days. Of course, you know the relationship the barber has both with his relatives.
All right, so there he is, one of your competitors saying you're behind this confusion of adding a separate Mike Duggan to the write-in ballot.
I have absolutely nothing to do with that. I learned of that this morning sometime I started getting phone calls from someone in the media. I don't even remember because I just discarded it because I didn't know anything about it. So Mike, the guy said, Charlie LaDuff put him up to it. So I think Mike Duggan owes me an apology. I have absolutely nothing to do with that. Every time something happens to Mike, Mike's got my name coming off of his lips. And, you know, Mike needs to man up and take accountability for screwing up his campaign, quit whining, and be a man and keep moving forward and run his campaign. I'm not concerned about Mike Duggan or any of the other candidates. I'm doing Benny Napoleon's campaign.
Let me ask you one quick question, though. Because so many controversies keep coming up centering around Mike Duggan's name, are you worried about this helping his campaign instead of hurting it, especially with all of his commercials on television talking about write my name in?
Carolyn, I don't think about it. I mean, I come from a very strong, positive, religious environment. And my dad always told me that if you take care of your business will be taken care of. I'm taking care of my business. I'm not thinking about Mike Duggan or anybody else. I have a plan that I'm working, and I'm going to work my plan, and it's going to either be successful or it's not. So now they're concerned about me. I'm not concerned about them. So Mike needs to man up and just acknowledge he made a huge mistake and move forward, try to get his campaign back on track, and quit blaming everything that happens on somebody else.
All right, we're going to start your 5 minutes right now, and you say you want to talk about your campaign. So first of all, you need to work whatever you do if you become mayor into the framework probably of a bankruptcy. It looks like it's going to be there.
Yes. Well, the fact is no one knows what bankruptcy is going to look like in the city of Detroit. Detroit is the largest municipality that has ever gone through this. I've talked to folks who are friends of mine in other parts of the country. A very close friend of mine who's an MIT master's grad was involved in the Orange County bankruptcy, and he talked to me a little bit about the bankruptcy in the county in Alabama and gave me some idea, but quite frankly none of them are on the scale of a bankruptcy here in the city of Detroit. So until such time as we get some idea to which way the federal judge is leaning, we won't have a clue as to what this means for the city of Detroit.
And of course Time magazine said today Detroit is just the first of many cities that may be filing for bankruptcy. But talk about your feelings and your thoughts toward Kevin Orr, the emergency manager, and even Governor Snyder right now as Detroit faces this bankruptcy.
I've said from the beginning of Kevin Orr's appointment that he was brought here for 3 reasons: to break the unions, to sell Detroit assets, and to send us into bankruptcy. Check the record. I said it from day one. All of those things are now coming to fruition. That's the reason he's here. So I have not had an opportunity to meet Kevin Orr. I haven't had a discussion with him. You know, I don't know whether he's a nice guy, bad guy. I have no impression of that. As it relates to the governor, I've had a couple of casual conversations with the governor. I had one meeting with him where we discussed safety in Wayne County and some of the things that I believe the state could do to possibly help us as it relates to making Wayne County, in particular the city of Detroit, and some of the more challenged communities safe. And that's the extent of my conversations with the governor.
Now, in your campaign, we can assume that people will have a measure of trust about your abilities to work on a plan to keep Detroit safe if you were the mayor. You've got the law enforcement background. But what about getting the lights turned on and getting the trash picked up, getting the blight removed. These are the issues that people want addressed.
Well, if you're talking about the regular trash pickup, I've lived in the city of Detroit my entire life. My garbage is picked up like clockwork. So I think that city workers are doing a phenomenal job when it comes up to picking up your regular trash. But what I have is a 1 square mile plan that is focusing on making Detroit livable, walkable, and sustainable. We're going to put a police officer in every square mile of the city of Detroit. That officer is going to focus on quality life issues that impact us as Detroiters. We're going to make sure that the abandoned cars are gone. We're going to make sure that the blight is cleaned up. We're going to make sure that businesses that don't pick up the trash, don't cut the grass, and don't get rid of graffiti do it. We're going to make sure people are good neighbors. If they are not, they're going to get a knock on the door from this 1 square mile officer. We're going to organize every church, every community organization, every business, every school, and every neighbor inside square. You're not going to ask people to take care of this great big thing we call the city of Detroit, 137 square miles. We're going to ask them to do it the way you eat an elephant, one small bite at a time. Just take care of your own backyard. Work cooperatively with your neighbors. Be a participant in making Detroit a great city again. Detroiters have something that people are not taking into account. Detroiters have bounce. It's like a Super Ball. The harder you throw them down, the further up they're going to bounce back. This is going to be a great city once again. I'm confident that we are not hopeless or helpless.
What do Detroiters say to you when they see you? So many people are worried about the safety, of course, you mentioned that. So many people are worried about this education right now and, of course, getting jobs back in the city, because we're talking about making change, but without the dollars to do it, how can you make so much progress?
Well, the fact is we need to take a strategic review of the city's services and its budget. We need leadership that will look the citizens of Detroit in the face and say, we have some challenges, but we're going to get better. We have some issues, but we're going to straighten them out. We're going to be strong. We're going to be united. We're going to change this community together 1 square mile at a time. There's some things that we have to do. Health, safety, welfare, we have to do that. Police, fire, EMS, trash pickup, we have to do it, and we have to do it well. Something that we haven't been successful at doing. But besides that, the leadership has to be strong enough to look Detroiters in the face and say, there's some things that you've been used to the city doing that we quite frankly can't do anymore, and they have to trust that person when they say it. Detroiters trust me.
All right, your 5 minutes are up. We hate to cut you off there, but we want to be fair to all of the candidates.